first lessons that I used to teach as a citizenship teacher was to get students to say what they thought was great about British democracy. And then I'd get them to go away and do a bit of research about what democracy really was and why we didn't have it. And whether that was about, how your data is recorded when you go to a supermarket, or the fact that how can you make a genuine decision about politics when you're reading the garbage that is fed to you through the newspapers. I think they soon began to realise, especially actually when we did sessions on bias, and we looked at newspapers and how different newspapers approach the same problem, and then we looked at who owned those newspapers and what their own agendas might be, and when, for example, we might have looked at Rupert Murdoch, and we might have looked at the range of different business interests he has all over the world, not just media interests, but a whole range of other business interests. And so that we could then say, well, this content of this sentence here, what meaning does that really have? Whose agenda is that serving? Because you cannot have a democracy if you do not have the facts, if you do not have information. And so I think that was always an eye-opener, but I tell you what, it really politically engaged those youngsters, because they would come into those classes and say, I don't want to do this subject, it doesn't interest me, politics doesn't interest me. And then we would do this stuff about democracy, and then I would say to you, so why is it you're only getting paid £5 for doing your job at a baker's on a Saturday? Why is it that you are having to pay X amount of money to sit your driving theory test? Why is it that you aren't going to be able to go to the university that you want to because you can't afford it? And they would soon realise that politics touched every item of their lives. When people say that politics doesn't matter, well, then you might as well say that your life doesn't matter, because it permeates everything at every level.